What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Craig Thomas Show. Today we got a real special guest. We got W.A.D. Plemons on, the W.A.D. concept. How's it going, man? I mean,
As you can see it in the flesh, baby.
in the
I'm
flesh.
kind of upset. You know what? I didn't get as dolled up. You're outdoing me with the background right now. Listen,
Oh,
I
no,
can't
you're
be
all right.
outdone. I got all these doohickeys and whistles, so I got to put something on. There he
Oh,
goes.
look
All
at
right,
this. Look at this. That's a real professional.
there
That
you
is a
go.
real professional there.
There it is.
Over 40,000 YouTube subs now. I
Crazy,
mean, what
crazy stuff, man.
how did you I want to start this right off. How did you get into YouTube? Like walk me through that. What was the first video you put out? Like,
Oh God, the first video I put out. I started YouTube. I moved to Florida back in 2017 now.
okay.
I moved to Florida, and I was really getting involved with the MMA game and
Yeah.
the combat sports scene. I had played football, American football, for 16 years. I had played in college, and after you graduate, you want to fill that hole of combat sports with something.
Yeah.
And for me, it was becoming a fan of MMA. First off, through guys like Daniel Cormier, that's the Funko right there. That's
Yeah.
DC. He's rocking there. And obviously the Proper 12, Connor, was a big inspiration for me. And through that, I really dove into the sport as a fan. And I was like, man, I really want to be a commentator in some kind of sports scene. So why not start my own little podcast? Because I wasn't really getting the opportunities from traditional media, right? I was trying to go in and do the internships and do all that. And I wasn't getting those opportunities. And so I decided to start the W.A.D. Concept podcast. The first episode was the most nervous I think I've ever been in my life. And it was
Oh my God.
pre-recorded,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know why I was nervous, but it was like 15 minutes long. And it was just me explaining I was going to start a podcast. So, yeah.
That's funny that you say you're so nervous because one of the first podcasts I did, are you a comedy fan at all?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I had Mark Normand on
Wow, okay.
as one of my first guests, which was just ridiculous, right?
Huge
But
get,
I was,
yeah,
I was,
100%.
I was drenched in sweat. It was a Zoom
Yep.
call like this, and I like watching it back. I'm just like, it's still on YouTube, but it's
Yeah.
almost unwatchable, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just you get so nervous. But what I wanted to dive into is I'm a casual fight fan, right?
You're
Like
casual. You're as what they would call on Twitter a casual, huh?
I'm a casual, right? Like I love the UFC. I love
Right.
boxing, but like as far as like the knowledge base goes, like
Mhm.
someone compared to you, I enjoy watching it, right?
Mhm.
But the thing about your channel is I found your channel, I'm not gonna lie, through like the Ben Askren and Jake
Most
Paul.
people,
Like
yeah.
you just like blew up off that, right? Like and
Yeah. I got to be honest. When I started, I had been very consistent with the YouTube channel, but not as a weekly thing. I tried different forms for years. I had tried live stream format where I was talking, one-on-one with the chat, and it helped me build, my self-esteem because you had to know what you're talking about if you're in a real life situation. It's like the Twitch stuff. Like those people don't care your status. They don't care anything. If you don't know what you're talking about, you don't understand the things you're trying to talk about, then they're going to let you know. And so I built my confidence through that, but I didn't take it as seriously until last year or so. And as I started doing that was kind of the rise of YouTube boxing. And I started to see, one, there was a hole in the market that no one was really covering this stuff, at least not from a technical point. Like everybody was covering it and saying, it's a joke. It's this, it's that. And to be fair, I don't like a lot of it as far as, it intertwining in actual combat sports, but I found an opportunity to be able to cover it in a knowledgeable way, or at least in my opinion, a knowledgeable way, and really give credit where it was due, add some commentary here and there, but give credit where it's due to the guys like Jake, like Logan, and some of the guys on the YouTube TikTok thing that's coming up. But I didn't expect for it to do what it did. Where I'm at, I mean, we've grown, I don't even know the number in 4 or 5 months now. It's crazy.
I think you're like I think you were at 20,000 subs when I first started watching your videos.
I'll give you a number that'll shock you even more. I sat on 300 subs for 3 years.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So I've been doing, you can see the established 2017. I've been doing this for 4 years. I sat on 360 subs for 3 years or so. Every weekend I was doing 8-hour long live stream watch-alongs for the UFC events. God. I was doing commentary on every single fight from the prelims to the main event. Yeah.
See,
So
that
it
blows
was,
my mind, but I always say to people, like, so the thing about you is, even for a casual fan like myself, like, I'll
mm,
give you some compliments here. I hope you can
yeah,
handle
yeah, yeah.
compliments, right? You're hilarious, right? So even if
Appreciate
you're
that.
not like a diehard fight fan, it's entertainment, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
the live stream you did with, I watched your whole live stream with the Jake Paul,
Yeah.
Ben Askren. I bought the fight and then had that on the
There you
side,
go.
right? Like a
Oh
lot of
man, I
people.
appreciate that.
And that was crazy, man.
Yeah.
10,000 live viewers. Like, what a
Insane.
surreal feeling, probably, right?
Oh my
Especially if,
God. Like when you say surreal, it kind of hits the nail on the head because like I said, for 3 years we were on 300 subs and I was used to having one person or
yeah.
two people in
Oh
a
my
live stream
God.
and trying to interact there, call the fights and at a point it can get discouraging, but man, if I didn't love combat sports the way I loved it, I would have quit a long time ago. But I mean, I have to give credit where it's due. Yes, I worked my tail off in this last year, but also the rise of this influencer boxing scene has definitely allowed me to reach a wider audience, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but the thing is, even when you had like
Mm-hmm.
a lower viewer count, you were still putting out quality content. And I think that's the key, is you
Mm-hmm.
have this huge you have a huge I don't want to, like, your YouTube channel has a ton of good content. So people
Mm-hmm.
catch you on when you hit the algorithm with the Jake Paul, Ben
Yep.
Askren thing. But then they
Yep.
look back to see your other videos and it's
Yeah.
like, wow, this guy's been putting out great content for like a long time now, right?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's the key, and that's just kudos to you, right? Like
I
that's
appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's a testament to, the people, one, trusting that I am putting in this time, putting in this effort to make the channel better. And two, just continuing, like I said, because I love what I love covering this stuff, and it genuinely like makes me excited to go and cover a spar and see the little intricacies in it, or go and
yeah.
cover this massive fight and I understand the build on it. That stuff I would do it for, I mean, I have done it for no viewers. So I
Right, right.
truly don't, the number, it's amazing. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of everybody that's come in and done this. But at the same time, I'd be doing this regardless.
Of course, and that's the key. You got to enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
but I remember seeing your name like the weeks leading up to that fight, like
Mhm.
on like big MMA channels, like the
Mhm.
comments. You read the comments
Mhm.
channels. We need Wade's, but we need Wade,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's
like
that's one that I've been privy to and really like blown away by. The biggest one being, True Jordy is
yeah,
the biggest one that, and a lot of people don't know this. My community doesn't even know this, so you'll kind of get a scoop here. I've been going back and forth actually with Jordy,
yeah,
through DMs and stuff like that. We were, we're trying to make something. It's mostly, working. The guy's busy. He's doing a lot of things. So whenever he gets back to me, we're hopefully gonna work on something. But I don't know what it is. I don't know when.
nice.
I
That's
just know that
exciting.
he's seen some of my stuff, obviously, and he's been grateful or gracious enough, I should say, to reach out and tell me he likes some of the stuff. And obviously, I'm a massive fan of his. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's cool, man. So do you have I want to get into like a bit more about you, because when you make those
yeah,
videos, it's a lot about the content you're covering, right?
right,
Not so much
exactly,
about yourself.
right,
Um, do you have a day job, or did you
yeah,
pursue?
yeah. Recently, so right now I'm a personal trainer.
Okay, yeah,
And just up until probably 2 months ago, I was working two jobs while doing this.
yeah.
I was doing another content creation kind of job for a company. It's actually a YouTube channel on YouTube. It's called G Minio. They're a gaming channel,
Oh, okay,
and I was one of
interesting.
their
Yeah.
hosts. I was one of their editors and things like that. I worked with a company called Hall Pass that's down the road here that works with the NBA Summer League. So
Okay.
a lot of odd jobs while trying to still do this. So 2-3 jobs at a time while doing the YouTube. In California, that's kind of how you have to do it, man. You got to have a couple side hustles.
Oh, 100%. And for people watching this who don't know, like your boy Wade is ripped on it, like a personal trainer. My God, man, what the hell?
It's
Like,
funny, man. Man, I have been chomping at the bit. Again, a lot of stuff that people don't know, and I try not to talk about too much. Is this last year I have been dealing with a knee surgery, and
oh, okay,
I've been
yeah,
trying to get back from it. And we got the knee surgery finally in January. I was feeling odd around October-ish, and we got the knee surgery. And I'm just trying to get back to normal. I want to get back. People in my comments all the time are, Wade, when are we going to see some sparring, some training? And I want to give it to them so bad. And I'm just trying to make sure we get this knee right. But Yeah. I have a passion for fitness. I have a passion for working out, man. No doubt.
Totally, yeah. And talking about the sparring, so what is your background with fighting? I know
So
you've touched. I know the
yeah,
answer to this, but a lot of people might not, right? So
yeah. So when I moved out to California again, just to scratch that itch, I was like, what do I do? And I'm from Tennessee, and
okay,
in the
yeah,
South, at least when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of you know, there were karate gyms and there were boxing gyms, but you played. So I moved out here and I started training. I started training Muay Thai. That's
yeah.
at Team Oyama over in Irvine. That is Colin Oyama, Carla Esparza, Louis Smolka, Cheeto Vera trains out of that gym from time to time. Some big time fighters over there, and they would run the classes, and I learned how there. And then boxing over at MMT Fitness for about a year or so. And so I'd say about 4 years now, I've been training in mostly Muay Thai, but recently more boxing. I think I got the itch
Yeah, yeah.
as I started covering it more and more. And I was like, man, I want to get into this boxing thing. So I started training more.
Of course, even me, even with like just the blow up of like the YouTube boxing, even I'm like, man, I should get in the gym and start
Right?
hitting the bag, like
Right? Just to test yourself and
just to
see, like,
test
man, these
yourself.
guys
Yeah,
can do it. I can do
yeah.
it. Right?
Oh, I am very self aware. I would get wrecked. I would get
Well, here's
absolutely
the thing
wrecked.
too.
Yeah.
The first time you get in there, absolutely. I remember the first, headgear sparring session I had. It was like I was 22, 23, and the kid was probably 17 and beat the shit out of me. He kicked my ass. He
that's
beat me so bad.
that's
But
an that's an
it was
ego
a wake up
check.
call to
Yeah.
see that you can't play these. Like you could be the
No.
best athlete in the world, all this. You don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get hurt, right? So
So what's your
it was
take?
yeah.
What's your take on Jake Paul as a fighter? I know you touch on it lots, but
No, yeah, and I'm actually going to do a video on this week. I am, I don't know, man. As a fighter, listen, you can't discount when guys put in the work to go out there and perform at the highest level they can possibly do. Right.
yeah,
That for Jake Paul, listen, the guy can train all day.
yeah,
Right. He doesn't have a second or third job. He's not
yeah.
trying to make ends meet, and he is almost the exception to the rule that a rich man can't fight, because he didn't
Mm,
have to grow up doing this, right? He didn't have to
yeah,
grow up and do this to get to the point where he was rich. He got rich and then fell in love with boxing.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so as a fighter, it's really hard to place Jake. It's really hard to say, okay, is he a pro? Is he a high level amateur? We really, even in the last fight, I have been ridiculed for picking Ben Askren, and I'm standing by that. It was more,
I picked him too.
well,
It's okay.
it's our
Yeah,
MMA
yeah,
bias, man. We, as much
yeah,
as I don't want to say it was, man, I was rooting that for Ben, because I want to see him do well. He's a favorite of a lot of people,
yeah,
and two, fuck Jake Paul.
yeah.
but
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
but to be fair to Jake, it's like, when a guy puts that kind of effort in, when he puts that kind of time in, and he has the amenities, the availability to do it, and he's somewhat athletic.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good fighter for how long he's been doing it. No doubt about it. He's a good boxer for, I don't even know, the low level pros, maybe a high level amateur. He's there, and if we get to see the Tyson Fury fight, I think he'll even prove there that he will hold his own, if not do well.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. And I'm sure you checked out the fights last night.
Yeah, I had a big problem with that, and that's something, again, I'm going to talk about, but I don't mind talking about it here too.
What's your problem with that? With him coming to the fights there?
No, not at all. And
Oh,
it's not Jake's fault at all that he is doing whatever he can to get a rise out of people, to build
yeah.
his brand further. Fair play to the guy. It's not even the smartest move in the book. It's just the easy one, right? And
Yes. Yeah.
it's because our community, and this is why I get a little upset, is our community is just, he holds his hand out and they eat right out of it. It's the
Yes.
easiest thing for him to do, because people just will not let it go, right? They
Yeah.
won't. And that isn't just the fans. Now, I couldn't stand that Chris Weidman breaks his leg in half last night.
Yeah.
And
that was gross. That was gross.
that
by
was
the way.
insane.
Oh my God.
Anthony Smith is having a barn burner before that, whatever happens with Jimmy Crute, and they don't care. They don't care. They paid their hard-earned money to come in and watch two professional level MMA fighters go at it. Instead, they're chanting "fuck Jake Paul" in the middle of the fights.
Oh, that's a
As
very
Chris
good point.
Weidman is getting carried out. You guys paid your hard-earned money to come in and chant at Jake Paul, who has nothing to do with the event, who's a fan just like you are. You guys are
Yeah.
getting played. That's exactly what he wants, and you're giving it to him. Instead of enjoying the fights the first time
Yeah.
back, fans in the arena. That's what you guys do. And that's why the MMA community continues to lose to this guy. That's why. And because, and listen, I'm a huge DC fan. Love
Yeah,
DC.
I was
That's my
about
guy.
to dive into that. Yeah.
But what are you doing? Why go over to him? Why give
He's
him that
better
attention?
than that. Yeah, he's better than that. He
Don't
doesn't
do
need
that.
to go.
Not there.
No.
Do it after the event. Do it in private. Okay, he gets a video of you in private. Cool. But it's not in front of 20,000 people, ESPN there, millions of people with iPhones.
Yeah.
And now all it looks like is that you couldn't compose yourself in front of Jake Paul. You had to go say something to him, and he wins again. That stuff I can't stand, because all it is, it shows we as a community, we want to get that one back 100%. But this is, you give him this, you continue to feed into it, and he wins. Every time he wins. The way you beat Jake Paul, and I truly believe this, is you starve him.
Yeah.
You continue to let him do and talk. And eventually someone will come out of the woodwork and he'll have to go fight them. But when you give him the DCs, when you give him the Tyron Woodleys, he'll continue to pick until he gets a guy that, again, he knows he can handle or somewhat do well with, and it's a big name. Yeah. And it's another reoccurring Ben Askren. So that's why I didn't like that.
The thing I thought funny about it is he was there with Antonio Brown, right?
Really odd.
But the funny thing is Antonio Brown is a very controversial, obviously, very hated
100%.
Very hated NFL star.
Yeah.
And they're not chanting fuck Antonio Brown. They're chanting fuck Jake Paul. And like Antonio Brown, just to give the perspective of how many people are against Jake Paul. Yeah. Like Antonio Brown has a lot of legal issues. Like we won't dive into all that. Yeah. Like done some actual bad things.
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly. But and he's getting, there's no hate on him. It's all towards Jake Paul. And I'm not a fan of Jake Paul, but I respect the business side of it. I respect that he knows what he's doing. He's being the heel. He's being, the more he's hated, the more money he's making.
100%.
Right? It just dives into what you're saying, right? Like,
that's why I can't. It boggles me. It boggles my mind that the MMA community is so, I guess, one-dimensional, that we don't understand how to handle a situation like this. Yes, it's fine to go and send a representative, but to get emotional about a guy that is doing things to get you emotional is a backwards plan as to how to beat him, right?
Yeah.
The Antonio Brown thing was weird. I mean, listen, these guys, they all have money. They all talk behind the scenes. It doesn't really matter.
No.
Yeah. They could have been God himself in that arena that night. It could have been the devil himself that night. And it wasn't it was fuck Jake Paul. Like the people are just eating out of his hand. And like I said, fair play to the guy. He is completely aware, and I'm sure it's not just him. It's the people that advise him, completely aware of what they're doing. I would like to see, I mean, I don't know where this goes from here, but it's going to be a weekly thing. Watch, mark my words. It's going to be a weekly thing that Jake Paul does. Maybe not going to UFC fights, but doing something just to keep that name there. Keep that name there, because it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down the road, he's going to announce another fight, and then the circus comes back to town, right? I think that's the part where Jake excels, right? You see even guys like Logan or KSI, they'll really ramp up for their fights, and even Connor ramp up for the fight, and then once it's over, they'll disappear for a little bit. Jake is doing a good job of not even disappearing. He's just staying in your mind continuously.
Yeah, he's smart that way. That's all I can give it to him. That's all I can really give to him, is he is smart at what he does. Mm-hmm. Once again, I don't like the guy. I don't think many people do, but that's his brand. He's just going to build off that. And
we're talking about him. That's what he wants, right?
Yeah. Look at exactly right. Yeah. It's. I want to talk about something about YouTube. I know we're just kind of jumping all over here, but what do you think about the slow? Like this, you talked about you were stuck on 300 subs for you said 2 years.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
First of all, kudos to you for sticking with that. Is.
Well, listen, I would take my breaks too, man. I would get, burnt out, and I would get frustrated with the fact that I wasn't, I don't know, because I hate to see, I wasn't seeing the return. I didn't feel as if I was giving it my full effort sometimes. And even when I was there for 8 hours and doing my thing, I felt like I didn't have the tools to be successful yet. Right. I didn't really know what medium I was going to be successful in. And then I started working, it's crazy how kind of life works. I started working with a company, like I said, Hall Pass is like a video production company for the NBA Summer League. Okay. And I learned how to edit. I'd never edited anything. Yeah. I'd never done anything. And fair play, I have a basic editing knowledge now. People are like, man, your setup, your production's crazy. I have a very basic editing knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's enough, right? It's enough for me to
Yeah.
understand what I do well and how to get that out there. And again, throw in some of the commentary and things like that. But as far as like your question, the slow grind of things, man, YouTube, I'm learning day by day. I mean,
Yeah.
now I'm in a position where, you know, on 300 subs, you can just kind of put stuff out and throw stuff against the wall. And if it works, it works. And
Exactly.
now,
Yeah.
you know, I'm at a position where I'm like, you know, even last night, I wanted to put out a react. I had filmed it and everything. I was like, I want to put out a reaction to the Jorge knockout. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, is this the best use of a video? Right? Is it the best use of, yeah, my reaction's crazy because every time I react to something, it sounds like I'm being murdered.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Actually, though,
yeah, like
yeah,
I scream my head off. But is it the best use of a video to, you know, I guess, convey my thoughts? Or should I give it a day like I'm going to do when I get off this call, record my video, include that reaction, and then also give some context as to why I feel the way I did and what actually happened in the fight and where the little nuances lie. That's where I've started to learn a little bit more about how to pace myself. And
so you think you feel a bit more pressure now, like especially with
a little bit. Yeah. You know, you don't want to put out a video that, you know, just you put out to get, like, I'm never going to be a guy that just puts out videos to specifically get views. If I don't care about something, I'm not going to put it out.
Yeah.
And trust me, and I love my community. They hook me up with all these videos to react to and break down and all that.
Yeah.
But if it's something like, I remember a big one was, you know, break down what KSI said about, I'm like, I'm not going to.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything to me. You know, there's nothing there. I do a one-off video to give my opinion on KSI saying he'll beat him. I've done that. But if it's something that I care about, and if it's something I feel like can further the channel, can provide knowledge, and that people enjoy, then views or not, and that's the hardest thing I'm getting past right now is views or not, I've got to stick to what I like and what I love, or this thing is it'll consume you, you know. And I'm just at a very low level on YouTube. I can't imagine, you know, the top tier guys and how the pressure is on them. But
yeah, you're at like per se, like in the whole landscape of YouTube, a low level, a small channel, but you have a very, like, you can tell you have a very diehard fan base already.
Yeah, they're dedicated, man.
Which is almost, you'd rather have 40,000 subs that really ride with you than 500,000 who are just like casual bullshit fans, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm super grateful,
I can see some big things coming for you, man. Like, and I'm not just saying that. I know you know. Like, I know you know.
I appreciate that. I do. I think I really want to. I mean, I've got a lot of things that this board, if you could see it all right now, it's got a lot of things on there, and I'm really excited. June, July are going to be great months. I'm really, really pushing for that Social Gloves commentary spot. So behind the scenes, actually doing some stuff on that. So.
Yeah, you'd be great on that.
I hope, man.
Was there like a one video from like 300 to get to say like 5,000, 10,000? Was there like a breakout moment? I know you're having like a breakout moment right now.
I think when the first time, when Jake put out his video, covered him, and I remember thinking when I covered it, I don't remember. I think I titled it Jake Paul's video doesn't show what it thinks. Great, right? He was KOing guys. He was stepping in with the lead hook, banging the right hand behind it. And I remember thinking, this is going to be loved. This is going to be like the best video, like whatever. And people hated it so much. People hate it because, I mean, we're on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
YouTubers on YouTube. Yeah. You don't criticize. You don't come for the king. You know, you best not miss.
Yeah.
But at that same time, I mean, it was a video I think it was a 60-40 dislike rate or 60-40 like ratio. But
oh my God.
At the same time, I was like, I like the fact that I can say what I truly believe, and that some people in there will understand it, and other people will call it hating, whatever. I don't hate Jake Paul. I think that the things he does are kind of silly, and I don't think he as a person, I think he has a lot of room to grow, but it's not really my call to make. As a boxer, I'm just going to tell you what I see. And that's what I did. And that one, I think we were at like, I don't know, 400 or 500 subs at that point, because I was really, posting a lot of content. I think we got to like 1.5 in like a couple of days. So I was like, and then the video did like 40,000 views or something. And I was like, wow. And then I was like, okay, maybe there's something here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat back and was like, what if I started to break down a lot of these YouTuber fights,
Yeah.
YouTuber sparring sessions that really no one's ever touched and no one's really
Yeah.
looked at because
Yeah.
no one takes this seriously. What if I go and give it a serious look like I do for the UFC, just take it to the YouTube? And that's kind
Right.
of as we started to build the KS. I remember the KSI Face Sensei sparring video was a really big one for me.
Nice. Yeah.
Face Sensei actually reached out to me after that one, which was really cool.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, Sensei is. By the way, I'd love to get some training with that guy. He seems like a genuine dude. I truly think if Face Sensei could dedicate the time to just boxing, because I know he runs his dojo up in LA. Yeah. If he could take the time to do it, I think that guy could be the best on YouTube, no doubt about it. He's got natural skill for the sport.
Yeah,
he's ridiculously good.
Wow.
But he just, he's doing his karate in his studio and his dojo and stuff like that. But if he could, like, give him a year, 2 years to dedicate solely to this sport, build the cardio, build the muscle memory, I think he could be one of the best.
Totally, yeah. I won't keep it too much longer. I want to dive into a little bit more like your personal life. Are you locked up? You locked up? You got yourself a girl? What's going?
Yeah.
Oh, is she right there?
Kelsey's in there. No, she was walking around in here.
For yeah. How does she feel about, because for people that don't know, like the YouTube, there's a lot of behind the scenes editing, all that. It takes a lot of time. Now you got to talk about her right there. You don't have to answer.
No. Listen, she's been very supportive of me. I mean, she was my first subscriber. She made, I don't know where my logo is. She made my first logo.
No way.
Yeah. So I've been truly blessed to be able to have, I don't have a big group of people, right? I keep my group is very small, but she's right there. Been there since the beginning.
That's huge. I know in personal experience, I've dated people when I've tried to do different things and, that take a lot of time. And if you don't have someone who really supports that, it is very tough. So,
and that's not, I mean, one, absolutely. It's, tough for me, obviously far more tough for her, but the mental aspect of that stuff, because again, this is something I don't think a lot of people know too. When I record, I don't write anything. I sit down, I go, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we move on. Right. So that can be a painstaking process, especially when it is a spar or something that is a 30-minute long video.
Yeah.
And you've got to try to find the gold in there, right? You got to try to find where the intricacies lie, because that stuff is, I love the recording part. The editing part is not my favorite.
No, I hear you on that. So you don't prep anything for those videos. I actually want to ask you about that.
No, so I have my board, and this is the craziest thing. This is always how I've been. I have to kind of just ram my head into the wall and hopefully nothing hurts too bad. But I have my schedule of kind of, it's like more of a easy outline or a lazy outline to be like, okay, this is what I think I want to hit this week. And that's good because I can be malleable, right? I can, if something new comes up, if, True Jordy posts something that's interesting, like one of these debate videos that I really like to get involved with, or if Connor and Dustin, right, that's been announced and we're going to start building on that, I can easily switch direction. But when I sit down and I have a video ready, we hit record, I hit mic on, and we go, and whatever happens, happens. So
I love it. And I remember thinking that before your big live stream there with Ben Askren and Jake Paul. And even on the live stream, I'm like, oh, this guy's, you have it where you're on the spot, you're making jokes. There was, you guys, for those of you who didn't see it, I think the video has like 500,000 views now, that live
Crazy.
Stream.
That live stream is insane.
You were doing costume changes. There was different characters. I mean, like come on. It was like
W.A.D.E Suave had an appearance. I got my Captain America costume up there.
Yeah. I mean, it was almost like a comedy bit too. It was outrageous.
But listen, man, that's another thing I have to attribute to the 8 and 7 hour live streams with 1 or 2 people there, because you have to keep yourself invested, right? You have to keep yourself entertained. And, for the community that's been here, my OGs, they're still in my comment section. I still see them. That really, I think, honed my skills. That and working with the G Minio, the company that I worked with for about 2 years there, being an on-camera host there, a lot of that stuff honed my skills and made me a little sharper, and made me a little more wary of how to deal with the chat and how to understand moments and things like that, and build a little bit of a comedic set as we go through the live stream. That stuff is planned here, but it's never I never try to write any of that stuff down because I don't want to be beholden to like, okay, I have to do this, because it's not as natural that way, right? For me, I want to look, feel, and act as authentic as I can on camera and on screen. And me writing stuff down, I'll write myself little notes if I want to cover a fight. Yeah. But other than that, I like to be able to be on the fly for sure.
Cool, man. Well, you know what? I won't keep it too much longer. I appreciate you doing this, man. I know you're a busy guy. You got some videos to edit, videos to record. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the growth. I'm looking forward to following you. And I wish you all.
That's, by the way, that's likewise too. And I told this, man. I got an interview. I don't remember. I think his name's Fred something. I got interviewed by a guy yesterday. Mm-hmm. And so again, just, I'll make this short. In the combat sports media scene, when you don't have a journalism degree, you didn't go and get all the other internships. Yeah, those opportunities aren't readily available, right? And I'm talking, I live in Orange County. I used to, for 3 years, when I was on 300 subs, I would drive my ass to LA 2-3 times a week, go and try to knock on doors, give out resumes. I probably have given out, I don't know, upwards of 500 resumes in LA to companies like Hulu, Showtime. I met Brendan Schaap in LA and tried to intern for Below the Belt. Yeah, I met him just randomly at a Whole Foods, and I had my resumes, of course. And I got in touch with his producer, and they never followed up. But I've been in those situations.
His loss, my man. His loss.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I've been in those situations where you hear no, constantly. And so, when I always said, if I ever, made any kind of semblance of anything of the YouTube channel, I'll never be the same guy that I had dealt with, the guy that pulled the ladder behind him as he got to the top, right? Or whatever.
Yeah. I respect that a lot. That's
so
cool.
Anytime, man, anytime you want to hop on an interview, that's for anybody that wants to talk to me or has any questions for me. You guys, if you look in my comment section, I'm always there, like trying to respond to every single comment, my Twitter, anything. I'm always readily available because I didn't have anybody to help me through that. I feel like sometimes that's the easiest thing is just being there and being able to give back somehow. So
that's admirable, man. I respect that a lot, to be honest.
Appreciate it, brother.
That's really cool, man. But yeah, once again, thanks for doing this. It's awesome, man.
Of course, Craig, you're killing the game, man.
Killing the game. Yeah.
Hey, man, little by little, just hacking away is what we do.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a slow grind.
Yes,
that's
sir.
For sure. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, man. We'll keep in touch.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right. Have a good one, man.
See you, boss.